it's going to give you a little message that says this is being recorded. Please hit OK. All right, seeing some hellos and reunions in the chat. Hey, Joanne, good to see you. Been a minute. Glad to have you back. All right. Throughout the meeting, if you can just double check that you are muted, just to get rid of background noise if you're not coming off for Q&A. And you are welcome to always type questions throughout the session in the chat. We've got our amazing team on. They can be responding as we go. And then we will also use that raise a hand function when we get to the Q&A for people to just come off mute and surface questions. All right, here's our agenda. Those are our norms. We're going to build some community here in a moment. We've got new faces and returning. And hello. We're going to have an after school highlight. Super excited. We've got Ms. Baker and Ms. Cyrus on today. And then we're primarily going to talk to you about our reopening plans. It's almost here. Monday is so close. So we are going to share all of that with some updates and reminders. I'm turning it over to my partner in crime, Ms. Lopez.
All right, family. So we're going to start it off pretty simple. Some of you may have done this in the past in other places and spaces, or if we have a sibling, you may have done it with them before, but every person is different and new and times have changed. So we want to know from you one thing you wish your scholars, new teachers knew. That tripped me up when I wrote it, before meeting them on August 30th. So what's one thing that you wish we knew about your scholar before they came here? You can write it in the chat. You're bold and you want to come off mute, and come off mute. So I'm getting, she's usually shy, math assassin.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, one thing, well, because she started last year in the 5th grade, but she's going in 6th grade. Azalea is very shy. My baby's very shy. She's an introvert. And then over the summer, she sent me a text saying, she's scared of public speaking. She looked it up, the phobia and what it's called, and told me, and I said, okay, it makes sense now. It makes sense. And I said, okay. So I have to try a different approach. So that was good to know. So now you guys know. I'm excited.
Thank you for sharing that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a fear or like a concern of a lot of our girls because they've gotten used to typing in the chat. We're going to find our voices again. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
I think we've got another family off mute. Did you want to share?
Hello, everybody. It's not much. My daughter is just sensitive and very emotional. So, you know, if she has to be like reprimanded in any kind of way, do it outside of other scholars and like just like by herself, because she's very emotional and she does not take well to, you know, people just being exposed to whatever she's going through in fear that they might tease or they might laugh at her.
Absolutely. Taking it off stage. None of us like to be on stage when we're getting redirected.
Right, because you will not get a positive response, if any response from her at all.
Understood.
So is Monday like a meet and greet?
Yes, we're gonna talk all about it. We've got a meet and greet coming up, a Lemonade Social. It's not gonna be on Monday, but it is gonna be on Friday. So you'll get to meet everybody in person.
Okay, that's this Friday or next Friday?
Next Friday. Yep, next
Okay.
Friday, not this Friday.
Okay.
Any last share outs on things that you want us to know? Seeing a lot of people in the chat. Daughter is the same around not being put on stage publicly, or it's not going to be a good ending. Got some very outspoken, friendly, and a little shy. And I got Mackenzie Talbot in here. Mackenzie, are you on here or is it mom?
No, it's me. Me and my mom and my dad. We're all on here.
Oh my gosh, Talbot! All right.
Yes, we are. Let's go. Let's
There
go.
he is.
Let's go.
Right.
Let's go.
There it is.
Let's go, class of 2022 seniors. Let's go.
Woo. Oh, I can't take it that Mackenzie Talbot's going to be in 8th grade. Get out of here. That just blew my mind, putting those two pieces together. All right. Feel free to keep dropping notes in the chat as things come to you that you want us to know about your scholar. You are their first teacher, and we learn best from you. Happy to be your partners in this work this year. All right, we've got some introductions to quickly make. Want to make sure you know everybody that is on the call. This is our full group of school leaders on today. So just want to have everybody quickly just come off, say your name, your role this year, just greet families so we can put faces to names. And maybe what families should know to go to you for. What's kind of your department?
All right, I will get us started. I'm Alex Cardasis. I'm the Academic Director of Humanities here at Girls Prep. Yes, I'm so excited to be back. This is my 10th year at Girls Prep. So proud to be a part of this community. And parents, you can come to me about any questions regarding humanities. So I support all of the ELA and history teachers here. And it is the best work. And I'm really excited to see your girls. And hi, Marwa.
Hi, everyone. My name is Hannah Warno. I am the Academic Director of STEM. This is my first year at Girls Prep, but I am so excited to get to know you all. Everyone is so pumped to see the girls back, and I can't wait to really get to know you all and be a part of the community. You should come to me for all things math and science related, and I am ready for the school year.
I could go next. My name is Samantha Thomas. I'm going to be the Assistant Director of Student Support, which means that I will be like the campus go-to person for all things special education related, or if you are concerned about your daughter not getting the support she needs to thrive. I'm really excited to be in this role. It is my 7th year at Girls Prep, my first year as a leader, and I am excited.
All right, I'll go. Hi, I'm Miss McCullough. Hello, senior parents, class of 2022. I'm so excited. Oh my God, seniors, yes. I am the director of high school admissions and college completion. Come to me about everything high school, programs. Fun fact, do know Reese's are my favorite treat. I do prefer the original 2-cup 4 if you're being generous. But I am here to support your scholars through their transition, getting ready to high school. I can't even believe I'm saying this out loud. It's absolutely crazy. I remember I was talking to Ashley about 5th grade programs and 6th grade programs, and now she is a senior. Mackenzie was coming in hot when I met mom for a home visit, and now we are getting ready to get out of here. Destiny from elementary. I can't even believe it. It's the wildest thing in the world, but I'm so grateful to be back for another year. This is my 7th year, and I look forward to working with all of you guys. Please ignore Miss Cardasis in the chat. I do not like the Trader Joe's one. Reese's only.
Hello, everyone. My name is Camille Kerr, and I'm the Director of Operations here at Girls Prep. This will be my first full year on staff and my 11th year in education. You can come to me for all things operations, so whether that's student transportation, attendance, tech, anything that your scholar needs to support them throughout the day, you can come to me for.
My name is Karina Lopez. I am the Director of Student and Family Affairs. I'm starting my 6th year here. I am all school culture along with Ms. Kogan. You can call us or we will call you. Emails, Kinvos, Facebooks, all of the things, chat and choose, celebrations, maybe some like not so positive phone calls, but that happens because we're in middle school and we're gonna get it right. But I will work to collaborate with you to maintain as best as possible positive relationships throughout the school with you and with your scholar.
And I'm Camille Colgan. I will be with Miss Lopez, and this is my 4th year at Girls Prep. I've been the 5th grade history teacher up until this point. So this will be my first year officially in SFA office. But if you've been my scholar, you know I hung out in there a lot. So you will see me where you always saw me anyways.
Awesome. And I am Jessica Strong. I'm the very, very proud principal at Girls Prep. I am starting my 8th year here. For those of you that don't know me, I started as a 7th grade ELA teacher in 2014, had the privilege of teaching a lot of our amazing alum, several of which who are going to be after school staff members, which is a great segue here in just a moment. But I am starting my 5th year as the principal here, and I could not be more excited for that and for working with you and for working with this team. So we are ready for this year. Yes, can't contain it. Miss McCullough, who acts like she doesn't like public speaking, but we'll talk about that later. Let's go to the next slide, Miss Lopez. She got me very energized and I like it. While your grade team leaders are not on the call with us today, I do want you to know who they are because they will be joining. Hey, Anaris, I see you in the corner. Hello. We've got some familiar faces up here. Mr. Marr, he remains our 6th grade GLT leader and 6th grade ELA teacher. Miss Walker was our 7th grade ELA teacher last year. She is looping to 8th grade with the girls, which we're pumped about. And she is becoming the 8th grade GLT leader. Mr. Melendez, who you may have known last year from 7th grade history, he is actually going down to 5th grade where he is going to take over as the 5th grade team leader. I know, Mackenzie Talbot, mind blown. Mr. Melendez is going down to the babes, 5th grade. All right, next slide, please. Also want you to know your instructional leadership team. This is an incredible group of teacher leaders who work closely with school leadership on all things academics. So we have Miss Basir, Sadia Basir. She is our 5th grade math ICT teacher and our math department chair this year. Marie Smith, she remains our 8th grade history teacher and is going on her 4th year as our history department chair. Miss Craigman, our incredible visual arts teacher, starting her 2nd year. at Girls Prep is our Petals lead, and Mr. Jorian, all the way to the right, 6th grade ELA ICT teacher, is also our ELA department chair. And yes, Joanne, I see you in the chat. It is our 7th grade team leader right now is still TBD. We are still working out some final teacher leader applications for that team. So for now, you can reach out to Ms. Colgan with questions about the 7th grade team, and you'll get a full list of teachers who you can also reach out to for anything 7th grade specific. Yep, and if Miss Kennedy wants to come be the GLT leader, I would support that. All right. Hey, we might make Esther the 7th grade GLT leader. Oh, she's in 8th grade now. Dang. All right, never mind. Moving on. Next slide, please. All right, we've got 2 phenomenal women on here to talk to you about after school. We have our program director, Ms. Shakima Cyrus, and our program coordinator and ed specialist, Ms. Brittany Baker. If you all want to come on off, we'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Jessica. So good afternoon, everyone. I'm so excited to speak to you all about after school today. I am Shakima Cyrus, the after school program director, and I'll let Ms. Baker come off mute if she wants to.
Hi guys, I'm Ms. Baker, the program coordinator and ed specialist. Jess, I think you can switch to the next slide. We're gonna jump right in.
Yes, thank you. So I just want to go over some after school information with you all today. I know a lot of people have been sending emails, and so we wanted to make sure that we address some of the important dates and times for you all. So for this year, days for operation for after school are going to go back to Monday through Friday. Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, we will be operating from 4:30 to 6 o'clock p.m. And then on Wednesdays, we will be operating from 2:30 to 6 o'clock. I know some parents had some questions about, will there be extended time past 6 o'clock in case of, any mishaps in terms of coming late from work? I'm going to address it here. Absolutely, we are going to be in the building until 6:30 because that is when our permit goes up until. So if you have any concerns about that, no worries, we'll be here in the building until 6:30, but the typical time for after school does end at 6 o'clock. Our first day of after school will be September 20th. It sounds pretty late, but across the board for all programs, according to DYCD, they want all of us to start at the same time. So we want to make sure that we give everyone an opportunity to hand in their applications, all supporting documents, so that way we're able to have everyone enrolled in the program on time. So the first day will be September 20th. We will be having a parent orientation. It will be virtual. And this way we'll be able to go over our parent scholar handbook and all activities and information that you will need.
Ms. Cyrus, you're muted.
Ms. Cyrus, you're muted. Oh.
Can you guys hear me? Okay, I'm so sorry. So I was mentioning about the parent orientation. We will be going through that on.
What color do socks have to be? Oh, Karina answered, never mind.
McCullough, you're off mute.
Bye, Peter.
Miss McCullough, you're off mute. Go ahead, Miss Cyrus, take it away.
Yes, so on Thursday, September 16th. Can you guys hear me? I'm so sorry. I don't know why it keeps going on mute. So on Thursday, September 16th at 5 o'clock p.m., we will be having our parent orientation where we will be going over the parent scholar handbook. And we will also be going over everything that you will need to know for the after school year. We are doing things a little bit different this year to keep everything controlled. So there will be schedules made for every scholar. that will be a part of our after school program, just to make sure that we are tracking where all scholars are going to be at every given point throughout the after school program time. And just to make sure that all scholars have an opportunity to have every activity that they can possibly encounter in the first trimester. And if you have any further questions, both myself and Ms. Baker, our emails are there, so you can reach out to us if you have any further questions. We can go on to the next slide.
So Exploration Day is going to be on Friday, September 3rd. That's going to be the same day as the Lemonade Social that I'm sure Ms. Lopez is going to talk more on as we go through the presentation. But Exploration Day for after school is basically a day for you and your scholars to check out what activities we have, meet some of our subcontractors and our activity specialists that are going to be running the programs. It's also a day for you to pick up a physical application. I know not every family is tech savvy, so we will have physical applications that you can grab and fill out and hand back to us. If you haven't submitted the application, but you have it filled out, you can also bring that with you that day and hand it in. It's also a day for your scholars to note what activities they want. So we will be taking in consideration the activities that they like, and we will be keeping note for that when we make their schedules so that they have an opportunity to be in activities that they do enjoy. Another plug is that is also a day to sign up for one-on-one tutoring. So we will have homework help and homework lab and floating tutors in the program, but we will also have a section where we have one-on-one tutoring for scholars that are struggling or were struggling towards the end of last year that we flagged. So that will be a day for you to sign your scholars up if you feel like they didn't finish off too strong last year and they're going to need that extra support. Some of the activities we have are photography, music, violin, fencing. We're super excited. That's going to be a new program that we're bringing this year. Black Girls Code, dance, and much more. So not every activity is here, but you'll definitely get to see them all on Friday, September 3rd. Next slide.
Okay, so this is the important part that I'm excited to talk about, and this is something that I've been working tirelessly on for some time now, but we now have a partnership for our 5th graders, which I'm so excited to bring to after school this year. Our partnership is going to be with Grand Street Settlement, and we actually have our representative this year who is on this Zoom call who will be talking to us about this partnership that we have. So I'm gonna have her come off, Miss Robinson. If you can just come off of mute for me, please.
Hello, everybody. My name is Camera. I prefer to go by Miss Cam. I feel Miss Robinson is for teachers. I'm kind of not like a teacher. I'm the director for the Sonic program at Cornelia Connolly Center. We're operating out of there for 2.5 years because our main site at AD Pitt is under renovations. Just to give you a little backstory on Grand Street Settlement, it's an 106-year-old nonprofit organization that assists low-income and underserved populations. Throughout this organization, we have different departments. We have Early Head Start that service birth through youth, birth through 5 years old. The youth department, which is my department, that services kids 5 years old to 14. And then we have a senior program that has a weekly pantry. Wait, I'm sorry. So for this after school program, we're partnering along with Cornelia Connolly Center and George Jackson Academy. Each of the schools will be on their own floor and operate out of their own cohorts due to COVID. After school will begin September 20th. Program runs Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. We're operating for 36 weeks. For those who don't know, Cornelia Connolly is located at 220 East 4th Street. This is a no-cost program. We operate on the DOE school calendar. As of right now, for 5th graders, I only have 25 slots available, but if more slots open, then I will let Miss Cyrus and Miss Baker know. That way they can inform you guys. Some of the activities that we do have are STEM leadership clubs like athletics, photography, dance, theater, art, fashion, coding. My program has put on a theater performance every year for the past 3 years. the special thing about us now, since we're located out of Cornelia Connolly Center, is we're attached to the Cornelia Connolly Theater. So with our theater production, they're able to go there to practice and make props and stuff and record there. Similar to the application process that Miss Iris goes through is through DYCD. I have an online instruction manual for those who would prefer to do it online, but if not, I can scan over physical copies to Miss Iris and Miss Baker, and they can distribute it amongst the 5th grade participants in the school. Are there any questions? I'm sorry, I know I talk like really fast. Nope. The best way to contact me is through email. I'm just gonna drop my email in the chat.
Hello, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much for offering this opportunity to the operators. Are you guys going to be able to pick up from girls?
Yes, I know the girls get out at 4:15. I'm gonna send 2 staff members over there to walk them over. If there's inclement weather, I can try to get a bus pass for them to get on the 14A bus because it's only 1 stop away.
Right, okay. Okay, so much.
No problem.
I want to just jump in here really quickly. So I know that this is the first time that we're like really creating this partnership with Grand Street Settlement. So I will be supporting some of the 5th grade families in the meantime until everyone is a little bit more acclimated with Ms. Cam and the program. So if at any point any 5th grade families have any questions or concerns about, how do I go about signing up my scholar for this program? Please feel free to email me. And I know, as she mentioned, we only have 25 slots right now, but that does not mean that it cannot be increased. So we are hoping that throughout the school year, more slots will become available. But for right now, we want to try to service as many 5th graders as we possibly can.
I'm sorry, question. So outside of Grand Street Settlement, there's no after school in girls prep for 5th graders?
No, unfortunately, DYCD, with our contract at Girls Prep, it only services 6th through 8th grade. And so this is why we've been trying to work on creating partnerships with other organizations to try to create after school opportunities for 5th grade for 5th grade scholars.
Okay, and you said we can register our scholars when? September 3rd?
Yes, I'm pretty sure that we have the same application as Grand Street Settlement. So what will happen is you can sign them up there, and what I can do is make sure I hand those over to Ms. Cam at Grand Street Settlement.
Okay, so my question is, can you sign them up now or you have to wait till September 3rd?
You can start signing them up because it's really a first come, first serve basis. And we want to make sure that all of the seats are filled. So if you are interested and want to sign up your scholar now, you definitely can.
Okay, not a problem. So would they have the application at the Grand Street Settlement locations? Because my daughter's already in the summer camp there. So would they have the after school application, at the current site?
Ms. Cam, do you have it at your current site right now?
Yes, I do. I'm sorry, I got muted. I have physical applications, but if you prefer to sign up online, I can send you if you provide your email, I can send you an instruction guide to sign up online.
Okay, I know you want everybody to drop everything in a chat. Unfortunately, I cannot type right now as I'm driving, but I can give you my email while we're speaking.
Okay, that's fine. I can write that down.
Okay, it's RR N like Nancy, A like Apple, S like Sam, H like Harry, E as in elephant, M as in Mary, A as in Apple @gmail.com.
Okay, can you just repeat that one more time?
I'm sorry, it's RR N A SHEMA @gmail.
Okay, I got it. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I see some parents asking just to clarify, All 6th through 8th grade applications, you should email me and submit them directly to me. All 5th grade applications will go to Cam, or we will collect them and we will pass them over to her. But 6th through 8th grade should go directly to me via email or given to me and Miss Cyrus on September 3rd.
I'm sorry, I just have a question about the after school for the 6th graders. Do you have to, like, I have a completed application, I'm just waiting for my doctor to send over her physical. Would you accept the application in the meantime, pending the physical form?
Yes, you can send over the application or hand it in, and as soon as you get the physical, you can just give it to me.
All right, thank you so much.
No problem.
Can you drop your email in the chat so I can send it my email?
Yes, no problem.
Thank you.
Okay, I see a couple of things coming up in the chat, some of which we're going to get to right now, some here in just a moment. One about after school before we move forward. Does after school require a commitment to every day of the week, or can it be partial weeks?
So we know that everyone is going to be not going to be able to attend every day, but we do ask that your scholars come to the program at least 3 times out of the week, only because we also have to fulfill our obligations as well as a contracted program through DYCD. So in the event that your scholar can't come 2 days out of the week, that's totally fine. You can just send us an email and then we'll just know and have that on file, and we can just put it in their file just to know that they're unable to come on those specific days.
It's a similar process to my after school program as well. Like if you know your scholar is not able to attend that day, I prefer that you let me know ahead of time the days that they can come and the days that they won't be able to come.
Okay. Miss Werdo is capturing all questions we haven't gotten to yet in a doc for us so that I can make sure if we don't answer them in the next few slides that we can come back to them. So if we haven't gotten your question yet, please know there will be some more time. We will make sure not to lose it. Awesome. So I am going to, I think a parent actually private chatted me an email for 5th grade after school. So I'm just going to put that in the chat for our Henry Street partners. All right, a guide to reopening public prep. So we're going to talk a little bit about all the things that are on your mind about reopening and COVID safety. So let's go to the next slide, please. Awesome. So our policy, starting really big picture. So while the foundation of our policies will continue to be the CDC recommendations, we have continued to talk with city, state officials, partners in the charter sector to inform our decisions. As you may or may not know, the Department of Ed has been slow to release some specific information. And so rather than waiting, we are going to make sure that we're following all CDC guidance and make some decisions about policies to keep our students and our staff safe. So we're going to move to the next slide and tell you a little more about that. Okay, apologies. I just had a thing pop up on my new computer. Give me 1 second. Great. So our reopening policies are really grounded in our 6 pillars for safe opening and operating. The first one of those is the clean and safe environment. So ensuring that our buildings are clean and properly ventilated each day before arrival and maintained throughout the day. I have to give a shout out to our custodial staff. They are some of the best in the business, and I am not making that up. They've been working tirelessly both to get our building ready, and also throughout the last year and a half to keep it clean and safe for our community. Staff vaccination and community screening. So we are requiring that all of our staff members that are vaccinated, as well as our vendors and partners, unless they qualify for a medical or religious exemption. And we will continue to use our community screening. So that health screener that you were getting last year, that via Kendo every day, that you were filling out so we could see the green check, that's going to continue into this school year for both students and for adults. Masks for everyone. So we don't know everything about COVID and the variants, but there's a few things that we do know, even as things are evolving. And that is that washing our hands, sanitizing our surfaces, and wearing masks indoors are some of the best ways to prevent the spread of COVID-19. And so we are going to ensure that all students and staff, regardless of vaccination status, are wearing masks in the building. I know there are concerns about mask breaks. And trust me, as adults, we've been back in the building for 2 weeks doing this together in the unair conditioned gym. Some days, shout out to our staff for handling business. We know that students are going to need mask breaks, and we are going to have both designated areas that are 6 feet away from others. And we are going to have screen guards so that if students need those mask breaks, they're able to take them throughout the day. Social distancing and contact reduction. So the guidance currently is whenever possible to maintain 3 feet of distance, and that when it's not possible, to ensure that you're using secondary measures for safety. And so we are going to group student desks in classrooms as best we can with this 3-foot guidance. So right now we've got some awesome classroom setup happening where student desks have both sneeze guards and the pods are clustered so that student chairs are 3 feet from other students. We want to make sure we're creating a warm community environment where students can turn and talk and get work done, while also adding, again, those extra layers of safety with masks and with the shields, as well as with distancing our pods of desks 3 feet from one another. I will also say, because I know it'll come up, Matt, we are going to keep masks on at recess. There will be a large mask-free 6-foot socially distanced area where students can hang. I know a lot of our 7th and 8th graders who aren't really trying to play basketball, they just want to socialize. There will be markers in an area where they can be outdoors without their mask on, 6 feet from one another. But when students are playing and they're on the playground equipment or playing games with one another, we are going to have them keep their masks on right now, given the guidance that we have. And again, going above and beyond to stay as safe as possible. There will be consistent hygiene routines. These will continue both with hand washing breaks and hand sanitizer, and then symptom management and emergency protocols. So we did a really great job establishing emergency protocols last year and isolation protocols if someone were to become symptomatic on campus. And so we will continue to utilize those protocols. We will also be providing COVID testing to scholars and staff. The turnaround time on our Miramis testing is right around 24 hours. And so for those of you wondering, it continues to be the saliva-based testing. It's not a nasal swab, so no one's going to be swabbing your kiddo's nose. It is saliva-based testing. And so we will continue to do that and test up to 25% randomly of our student body, and we will test our staff vaccinated or not, weekly to make sure that we are getting early detection for any positive cases that come up in our community. All right, next slide, please. Again, just what this means for you and your scholar is that you will continue to get that health screener every day. And we're going to need you to have that filled out. And your scholar is going to need to be able to show us the green check. Similar to last year, they can show it on their phone. You can be there and show it on your phone. If your scholar is feeling sick, please keep them home. We're going to talk about absentee policy here in just a minute. And hand washing, we will continue to have that built in throughout the day. Masks, we are asking families, please also model responsible mask behavior at arrival, at dismissal, when interacting with staff, at our Lemonade Social, which we'll be talking about here in a moment. But we are asking that you remain masked during those times as well. We know that while adults can be vaccinated and some of our 7th and 8th graders can too, we want to make sure that we're protecting our students who are ineligible currently for the vaccine. And again, I saw something come up about testing. We won't be testing students daily, but we will be testing a percentage of the student body weekly. All right. So as you know, from our summer family phone calls, our COVID safety protocols, and hopefully all the information that you've been receiving from our home office and campus-based teams, we are providing free COVID testing for students and families this week, because students who are unvaccinated or only partially vaccinated will need to provide a negative COVID test for the return to school on August 30th. That test is going to need to be within a 5-day window of August 30th. So between today and Sunday, that negative COVID test, and it's really important, it needs to be a PCR or PCR rapid test, needs to happen between now and Sunday. To try and support with that, we've got testing on site Thursday and Friday at both our Lower East Side, Middle Campus, and our Bronx campuses. So if you are in the Bronx, you don't have to come down here for testing. Thursday, 8/26, tomorrow, we will have testing here in the courtyard between 8:30 and 12:30. Tomorrow in the Bronx, there will be testing at Girls Prep Bronx Elementary from 2 to 6. And then on Friday, the 27th, at Boys Prep and Girls Prep Bronx 2 from 9 to 4. These tests will get results back in time for the 8:30 start of school. Also important to note that with these tests, no news is good news. So you actually don't have to get the results and then send them to the school. The testing provider will be communicating these results directly to schools and will only be communicating positive results to families. So this is going to be the easiest way to take care of that testing requirement if you can get to our campus or one of the Bronx campuses this week, because again, you're guaranteed it is going to meet the PCR requirements. It will get to us in the right window of time, and it'll be sent directly to the school. So you won't actually have to worry about printing it out or sending it to the school. So if you want to take a screenshot of these dates and times and addresses, please do. There is an interest form, not an interest form. You don't actually need that. You need the sign up form that I'm going to drop in the chat. We recommend signing up for an appointment. If you cannot commit to a time, we are welcoming walk-ins, but the best way to ensure that you can have an efficient, fast experience is to sign up for a specific time. I know there's a lot of questions going in the chat. Some are getting answered by staff. Know that we are not forgetting you. We're going to pause for those in just a moment. Next slide, please. Up, boom. We can actually continue to go forward. All right. So before we move into, because we have 10 minutes, I want to make sure I can get questions answered and get you some more info. SLT, were there any COVID protocol or testing related questions in the chat that were unanswered that you can elevate before we move into other logistics?
Yes, there were a few questions. Can I take my scholar to boys prep to get tested?
Yes, they will still get the results to us if you go to any public prep location for testing.
Are we allowed to bring the test results weekly ourselves?
In order to return to school, all families need to sign a consent form for campus-based COVID testing. So we have to have that consent form for the students to participate in the saliva-based testing on site in order for scholars to return. So we are not accepting like external tests weekly. If you want to get your scholar tested weekly outside of school, we encourage that. That's great. But we will need consent for all scholars to participate in the saliva-based testing throughout the year, so that they can be included in the randomized samples.
And does an adult have to go with a student for testing through public prep?
That is a really great question, because if they are under 18, I believe there is a consent form. An adult would need to be present for that test. So whether you're coming here or boys, it doesn't have to be you as the guardian, but it is going to need to be someone that is over 18 that can give consent, an older sibling, an aunt, and uncle, but there will need to be an adult with the scholar.
More questions about who will be testing the students. Is it a teacher?
No, it's not a teacher. We have an awesome testing coordinator for our campus. Her name's Olivia. She knocks it out of the park with staff testing. She also, scholars are familiar with her. If they were in the Learning Center last year, she coordinated testing for us. So if it's not Olivia, it is someone from her team that is on site for us that will conduct that testing. It's not staff.
And then how do you sign up for a specific time for testing? There were no specific times when registered last week.
That's a great question that if someone from SLT, Cam Kerr, if you can look in that sign up form.
There's no time. They just have to RSVP and say that they're going, and then they can show up within the window.
Great.
That testing is open. Yeah.
Got it. So I misspoke the first time. Apologize. You all actually have it right. There's not a specific time you have to select, but it will help us be the most prepared to serve folks that are coming and have enough tests if you sign up in the form. Thanks for the clarity there. Folks, if you're sending me a private message and it's not a confidential piece of information, it will be easiest if you send it to another member of SLT, just because they're not all, I'm not able to catch all of them. So again, if it's confidential just for me, I will get to it potentially not on the call. If you can send it to another member of SLT, we can get it answered faster. Okay. So we
Ms. Strong, before we move on, I'm sorry if I pronounce it wrong. MIKS has their hand up.
Yes, I just have a question. So I heard you say that going into the school, the children would need to do the health questionnaire or the health screening every day. How do you do that? Like, is there an app for that?
The link is sent out via Kinvo every morning. And there's also a QR code on the front door that students can use their phone to fill out the form that way, but it will go out to you every single morning.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay. So our school schedule, the week of August 30th, that is next week, it is welcome week. Monday through Thursday, there will be 12:30 p.m. dismissal for all scholars. As we welcome students back, we know there's going to be some social anxiety as well as just like a need to relearn our routines and procedures. And so all of next week is going to be designed to give students opportunities to build community, to get to know one another and their teachers, and also to just get back in the groove of school. On Friday, we will have a full day schedule for scholars. So they're going to build up to what that schedule is going to look like. And at Ms. Lopez, please make sure I'm right. Is it 3:30 or 3 o'clock for the Lemonade Social?
3 o'clock on Friday. So if students are self-dismissed and you cannot attend the in-person Lemonade Social, you can attend it virtually at 4:30 and your student can just dismiss at 3. But if you are picking up your student or you plan to come see us at the Lemonade Social, it'll be at 3 o'clock. We'll be there with your scholar.
Great. So please excuse my typo here. Again, Friday, 3 p.m. We'll talk about the family event in just a moment. But if your scholar is self-dismissed on Friday, it will be a 3 p.m. dismissal while we have a Lemonade Social welcome event on site for students and families. Our school hours have not changed, 8:30 to 4:25. Scholars are tardy at 8:41. Scholars are tardy at 8:41. If you've ever been at greeting, you know I count it down and I've got lovely videos of girls hustling down the sidewalk to make it. So 7th and 8th grade are going to continue to enter through the 11th Street entrance, just like we did last year. 5th and 6th grade are going to continue to enter through the courtyard. But 8:30 to 4:25 are our school hours. Early morning drop off. I know that there were a lot of questions and a lot of interest. Thank you to everyone who filled out the interest form. We will drop it in the chat if you have not gotten it yet. We have limited availability, but we have heard you and we are trying to be as responsive to your needs as possible. And so we are planning to offer early morning drop off again this year, bringing it back 7:30 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. We will be following all COVID protocols during that time, keeping students in an assigned group for contact tracing, similar to the way they will be during the school day. And there will be opportunities for academic support and some enrichment in that early morning drop off time. So again, in a moment, I will drop that form again in the chat. You will hear next week from us to confirm your scholar's spot in early morning drop off. And it will start on September 13th. We are going to give the first week of school. We're not starting that first full week so that we can work any kinks out with scheduling and with getting students used to the regular day, arrival and dismissal protocols. And then on the 13th, we will start early morning drop off at 7:30 for the families who are enrolled there. After school, we've already talked about 6th to 8th grade goes till 6 p.m. And just to note that on Wednesday, I saw Ms. Cardenas put it in the chat. On Wednesday, we will continue to have our 2:15 p.m. dismissal, just as we did pre-COVID. And if your scholar is in after school, they will have after school starting at that time. So a lot of hands going up here for questions. If you've got a hand up, SLT, if you can see who it is and can call someone off mute, we'll try and take a couple more questions.
The hand went down. I'm not sure if the question was answered, but if you still have a question, you can just come off of mute.
Well, I think I lowered it and I asked you to come off mute. Oh, what is happening?
Hi, good afternoon. I just had a quick question regarding Metro cards. How soon will that be given out?
Yes, Ms. Kerr, do you want to confirm that?
Yes, Metro cards do not start until the DOE starts, which is September 13th. We are trying to see if there's a summer option at this time. However, right now they are pushing us until September 13th.
Okay, thank you.
And if there's any family on the call that providing a Metro card between August 30th and September 13th is a burden on the family or is going to be an impediment to getting your scholar to school, please reach out directly to the leadership team so that we can support. We know that our early start brings some complications for those with busing on their IEP and for families with Metro cards. So again, if that is going to be an impediment, please reach out directly to us so that we can support. We want to make sure all scholars can be here on August 30th for the first day.
I'm sorry, I have a question. I believe I heard you guys say something about transportation. Is transportation provided only for those that have an IEP?
Yes, so any student that does not have busing for a medical reason on their IEP or busing for transitional housing or foster care, those are the only students who qualify for busing at our school. And so everyone else that does not have that, one of those needs for busing gets a Metro card.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Absolutely. I see one more hand raised. Jessica, if you want to come off mute. Jessica?
I know we're waiting for Jessica to respond, but I have some questions if she's not gonna go off of mute.
I think she just remuted. Go right ahead.
So if there's I might have missed some things because my connection is not the greatest, but if a positive test does come back, what is the procedure for that?
Yeah, great question. If a positive test comes back, we will be informing first and foremost the person who tested positive. We will also, and we'll be sharing this policy out in writing in more detail in the coming days, but we will be moving forward, closing classrooms if there is a positive case within the classroom. That is not happening everywhere. We know there are some cities and states that are not closing classrooms if there's a positive case. We are going to go out of an abundance of caution and kind of go above the safety recommendations. And we are going to close a classroom if there is a positive case within that classroom. So the communication tree will include direct communication with the individual first. It will then include a letter to all students and families in the closed classroom or the affected group. And it will be a 10-day closure. Anyone who has tested positive needs to be fever-free without medication for at least 24 hours before they return to school. And it could not be sooner than that 10-day window.
So for positive tests, just to make sure that I heard everything.
Yeah, go ahead.
And you guys, for a positive test, the family would be notified, the classroom would be closed, and I'm assuming that this child that was positive, or is it the whole pod that would be in quarantine for 10 days?
Yes, and they will shift to remote learning.
Okay.
If they are well enough, right? So if a sick individual, if a student tests positive and is sick and has to quarantine and is unwell and cannot log on for remote learning, obviously their absences during that time are excused, and the team will work to catch them up as soon as they are back. But if they are well or asymptomatic, they'll be able to log on for fully remote learning with the rest of their class.
Okay. And who will be or like, what's the sanitary process for like the lockers? Are the girls in charge of that themselves? Because my daughter's in 6th grade this year. So last year she didn't have a locker. She never went in. So my concern is, how is that going to be handled, you know? And how are we handling children going to their lockers between classes? Because if everybody's using a locker, there's kids from different classes are going to be next to each other.
Great questions. So a couple things there. The lockers that students will be issued will be in their advisory or their homeroom. So it is where they start the day, it's where they end the day. And those lockers are inside the classrooms. They're not in the hallways. So they're not touched by passersby. And they are only used by the students who have their advisory in that room. So the outside of the lockers is sanitized nightly, along with all commonly touched surfaces by our custodians. The inside of the lockers, students will only be going to their lockers, the morning advisory and end of day advisory. Because we put a zip around binder on the supply list, because students will not be carrying their full book bag class to class. A, we want to protect their back, and also B, because we want to minimize any clutter in our spaces so that we can maximize movement and social distancing. So the scholars will go in the morning to simply put their book bag and their belongings away and get their binders out. And then at the end of the day, they will simply go to swap. And teachers have a routine set up where students who have a top locker will go at one point and bottom lockers will go at another. And they're staggering it so that not all kids are going to be standing up at their lockers right next to each other at the same time.
Ms. Strong, since you're talking about lockers, I had a parent ask, can the students bring their own locks for their lockers?
Okay, so great question. Our lockers do not have locks on them, and we don't put external locks on the lockers. The rooms are never unoccupied by the adults. And so we do not have external locks on the lockers for a variety of reasons, mostly because in the event that we have to get in them for any reason and have to cut an external lock off, or if there was a safety concern, we aren't going to be in a position where we can't access materials that are inside. But the rooms are never unattended by an adult. And so the lockers will not be locked by our locks or by external locks throughout the day.
Hi, Ms. Strong. This is Samara's mom. I have a question.
Sure.
Just to recap what you just mentioned. So if a classroom happens to be closed because someone had contracted, the whole class will be closed and the entire class will be working from home? And if that is the case, since, you know, Samara and a lot of the kids have turned in their electronic device, mobile devices or computers, what do you do? Because Samara does not have one.
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think it's coming up on one of our next slides. If you want to go to the next one, Ms. Lopez. Actually, why don't you, can you skip forward to tech and we'll come back to that? All right, so we're super excited to maintain a one-to-one tech program in all of Public Prep Network. We have purchased a new device for every student in our network. So we had Chromebooks issued last year. Most folks have returned those. Some folks need to return those on the first day of school, but all students will be issued a brand new device that will be their one-to-one device for the year. We're really excited that it is an Acer touchscreen Chromebook. So there is an onboard stylus where students can write and do math and a lot of other capability. They're a significant upgrade from what we had before, which is great. So there will be a tech agreement sent out to families when we issue these devices. just outlining the care and replacement policy. Last year, we spent a lot of money repairing and replacing tech. And this year we have invested a lot of money in buying brand new tech. We will also be providing cases for students so that as they are taking them to and from school, we're doing our part to help them protect the device. So scholars will be issued the device, and those devices will be going to and from school with them every day, so that if there's a positive case, or rather, let me say when there's a positive case, because I want to go ahead and actually normalize that. We're prepared for positive cases to happen within our community. We're going to do everything we can to keep everyone safe. We also want to know, or want you to know, that we're expecting it and we're preparing for it, so that when it happens, it doesn't feel like it is coming out of left field or feel as much like a crisis as it sometimes did last year. And so students will have access to Google Classroom and their device so that we can make a seamless transition to remote learning in the event that when a classroom has to close for that 10-day period.
Okay,
so I'm so sorry. We are our safety agents and our custodians are wanting us out of the building, and I am buying time with favors right now. So I want to go back and get you a couple more pieces of information, and then I will stay on here with you until they kick me out. But drop the questions in the chat if I haven't gotten to them yet. Ms. Werno is collecting them. We'll make sure you get the answers. Ms. Lopez, can you go back to the absentee policy, please? Awesome. So this is an update we are that we want to share with everyone. So for excused absences and tardies, in order for them to be excused, we do need, it does need to fall into one of these categories. Emergency medical appointments, an unfortunate death in the family, legal proceeding, religious observance, and student illness up to 9 days in the school year of excused absences for illness. Unexcused absences would be routine appointments. Please schedule those outside of school time whenever possible. Family vacation and transportation delays don't fall under the excused policy. It's really, really important. We recognize there are legitimate times when coming to school or on time is not possible, but we want to make sure that we have students present and on time as often as possible. The shift is with the excused student absence due to illness. We heard feedback from you and from scholars. Shout out to one of our previous scholars, Angelie, who wrote me a letter about this, advocating for policy change a year and a half ago, and it's coming to fruition. So the shift is that families do not need to provide a doctor's note for illness to be an excused absence up to 3 days. So we recognize there are going to be times when there's sniffles, when there's cough, when you need to keep your scholar home, but you don't necessarily need to go to the urgent care right then and there. And so we are going to excuse absences for illness without that doctor's note up to 3 days. If a scholar is going to need to be out for illness past that 3rd day, we are going to require a doctor's note to continue to excuse those absences. This is also what we require of our staff, because if you've been sick for 3 or more days, we do want to make sure that you are taking all the precautions that you need to and getting the care you need. So again, this is a shift to be more responsive both to your needs and to the feedback we've received, and also to make sure that you're able to take care of yourself and your family in this return to school. Again, we really refer to the academic calendar for those routine medical appointments and family vacations. Please do not email me and tell me you're going to Florida for 5 days outside of spring break. Please don't do it. It's a difficult conversation. We need students in the building. Leverage the school break times for those trips so that we can keep scholars in school. All right, next slide, please. Let's go back forward. All right, uniforms haven't changed. Boom, go to Flynn and O'Hara. We need you in uniform on the first day. And you can go in person or you can order online. I hate to do it because I know there's still questions, but we have just gotten the you must leave right now notice. And so we are going to have to log off of here. But what we will promise to do is to share out the questions that are in the chat that we did not get to in a form with you with the answers so they are visible to everyone. And we will also follow up with an additional time that we can come together to answer anything that is pressing, or you'll get a nice little video message from me like I used to do back in the day. So again, please know we will follow up via email and Kenbo to make sure we get the rest of those questions answered. And please reach out to me directly via email if there's anything super pressing for you right now. Thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate your time, and apologies that we had to cut you off at the end. Have a good night, everyone.